This video clip describes how to solve systems of equations with calculators. So let's say you have this system of equations, two equations, two unknowns. To be able to solve this with a calculator, we first need to put them in the form of y equals. So we need to get y out by itself in each of those. Over to the right, that's not too hard. We can just subtract 2x from each side. And y equals negative 3 minus 2x. Over on the right, let's subtract 6x from each side. Let's divide by negative 3. So y equals 15 divided by 3 is 5, and negative divided by a negative is positive. And a 6 divided by 3 is 2, and negative divided by a negative is positive. So y equals 5x plus 2. So those two lines cross in one place. The calculator can find that, or we could graph them. Either way, let's use a calculator. So I go to the button called y equals, and I can put in those two equations. Negative 3 minus 2x is 1. So negative 3, whoops, I might need to calibrate this guy. Okay, negative 3 minus 2, and we'll use the x in this button right here. Whoops, gotta get rid of one of those. Okay, so let's enter that one, go down to the other line. The other equation was 5 plus 2x. So y equals 5 plus 2, whoops, x. Okay, so we have those two equations in there. We could graph them. We can see where those two lines cross, and we could say, well, that is, it's almost negative 2 comma 1. Not exactly sure, but there's another way to get that. Okay, so another way to do that would be to hit second function and trace, but then it will be calc, the blue button above it. So we want to calculate the intersection. Where do those two lines intersect? So I hit enter, and it says, okay, this line, this dot that's blinking, is that on the first curve? If I'm going to hit enter, yes, that's on the first curve. Is that on the other one? It's blinking on the other line. Yes, so I'm going to hit enter. And so it says, well, where do you want to guess that they cross? I'm going to back up somewhere around there, somewhere around negative 1.9 and 1.1. So let's hit enter at that point. And it says, well, they intersect exactly at negative 2 and 1. So the x is negative 2 and the y is 1. So you've solved that system of equations using a calculator. Let's do another one. Okay, so solving for y on the left is not too hard. We just add 2x. Y equals negative 11 plus 2x. Solving for y on the right is a little trickier. We're going to add x to each side. But then we need to divide by negative 9. Well, so y is equal to a negative divided by negative is a positive. 15 divided by 9. So let's just write it as 15 ninths as a fraction. A positive 1x divided by 9x, that's the same as a negative 1/9 x. So 1 divided by 9, or 1 divided by negative 9. So that one gets a little trickier to put in, but we can do that. So the first one is negative 11 plus 2x. So let's go to y equals. The negative is fine. 11 plus 2x, enter. And the other one was 15/9. Well, let's put that in parentheses so we can make sure it does the division first. So there's the left parenthesis, 15 divided by 9. So it won't actually do that math for what we see, but it will just show that it would do that math. And then it was minus, I'm going to put parentheses again, 1 divided by 9. Oops, let's back up and get that 1 in there. 1 divided by 9 x. So now we could plot those by clicking on graph and see where those two lines cross. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, comma 1, somewhere around there, just as a check to see if it really works. Now if we do second function, trace, that would be calc instead, the little blue label above that. Intersect, we want to see where those two lines intersect. Is it blinking on the first curve? I can't even see where it's blinking, so I'm going to move around a little bit and see if I can get where that is. I think it's off to the right a little bit, maybe. Well, actually, it says the y is in the negative region, so I'm going to go over to the right and see if we can find it, get y in the positive region. There it is. There's one curve, so I hit enter. Yeah, that's on a curve. Is that on the other curve? Yeah, that's on the other curve. Okay, where do you guess they intersect? Well, let's move over with the right arrow button. Somewhere close to 5.9 and 1. Enter. It says that is exactly at 6, 1. So we've solved that system of equations with a calculator.